Brian.
Yeah.
Hello, my friend.
How's it going?
Good. We were just having a very in-depth conversation about how when I was a child, I would have my snacks were also my power source. So I was like, oh, I'm getting weak. Feed me M&Ms.
I don't know if I did that.
I totally did that, dude. I think I still do. I'm like, wife, I'm weak. Bring me chips. She's like, no, go to the gym.
I was too busy being cool, smoking the cigarette gum. And then I grew up and never smoked, so go figure. Apparently, those are the gateway drug. Take that, Nancy Reagan. Dare to keep kids off drugs, whatever.
Hey, I'm looking at our live feed, and I see two of you in our video.
Sweet. Oh. No, you don't.
You just want it all.
The technical magnificence of this show is mind-boggling.
I think it'd be awesome if the whole thing, your face was right over mine, just a mini version of it. That would be great.
If I could get the software to get it to like follow you as well, that'd be great. And not move my mouth. I want a still picture with the cutout flap moving up and down, kind of like, South Park.
Right. Perfect. Moves with my mouth. I'd love it. I'd love it. Well, hey. You ready to start the show together?
Do it.
We're going to go on one. Ready?
1, go.
3, 2. What?
1.
3, 2, 1. The Lootcast starts
now.
You are not participating.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
What is going on? Welcome to episode 105 of the Lootcast. I'm going with player 1 right now. Destin, you're player 2. I fought you for the controller, and so what's going on, dude? We're back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, it's been a while. More for me than you, but it's still been a while.
Yeah, it's been a crazy past couple weeks. Absolutely crazy. We're not only was there just crazy stuff going on, like just like Guardian Con, that kind of stuff, but now we're getting all kinds of Destiny news, and there is a lot to talk about, man, and I'm so stoked to do that. Before we do, guys, if you want to get yourself a free audiobook from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/thelootcast, and there you can pick one book from something like 30,000 plus titles. So go take advantage of that. It's a great deal. We recommend books like Ready Player One, Armada, Game of Thrones, lots of Star Wars books. Go check them out. Go check them out. That's audibletrial.com/thelootcast. You get a free book. You get to help support the show. Captain Logan from the chat is saying Console Wars. There you go. There's a book to check out. So,
especially if you really like your Sega history. I know they really talk about it a lot.
Yeah. So there's that. Guys, we also got a Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/thelootcast. And there for $1 or more, you get an extra podcast. So you can go check that out there. It's patreon.com/thelootcast. And Destin and I also do a Nintendo podcast called the Nintendo Powercast. And we also fight for player 1 and player 2 on that show quite often. Who wants to be Luigi? I don't know.
If we could get Fred Savage on that show, I would just be done. I'm like, this is the pinnacle.
That's such a great idea.
You think he's available?
What else is he doing?
Well, he was on a show recently. He was actually working. It's The Grinder.
You've already forgotten.
He's on Grinder. Well, he's not on Grindr, but he's on a show called Grinder.
Kids listen to this with their parents in the cars.
Nobody listens to this.
That's also true. Yes, check out our Nintendo Powercast, where we are going to try to get Fred Savage to talk about the Wizard with us, because dang, that would be so fun. So who knows?
Even now, would that still be an exclusive? I don't know if he's ever done any like in-depth interviews about that movie.
We should edit this out so no one steals our idea.
Son of
Why do we talk about? We have the best ideas on air. Okay. Yeah, check out the Nintendo Powercast on iTunes, Podbean, and Google Play. We have an interesting show tonight. We have notes, guys. We're gonna start taking things up a notch. We aren't going to become just a news show because I feel like there's enough of those, and they're great. And if you want news shows, go check out Guardian Radio, Destiny Reset podcast. If you want Crucible stuff, go check out Crucible Radio. Right? I mean, there's podcasts for days. Destiny the show is another one. There's a lot of Destiny podcasts. Do a quick search, you'll find lots of them. Those are just a few that I recommend. But we have a lot of there is a lot of Destiny 2 stuff dropping from IGN, and so I wanna just kind of pick Brian's brain about it, and we're gonna chat about it. I'm also gonna give you guys a little bit of just the behind the scenes at Guardian Con, what that was like, and so without further ado, did you play any Destiny, Brian, this last week?
I'll tell you something. I jumped into PvP, and I was thoroughly enjoying myself. Dude, the movement in that game is phenomenal. Just running around, shooting cables, jumping on top of titans, just the whole cat and mouse aspect. Oh, I played a lot of Titanfall 2 this week, actually. That's what I'm talking about. A game that people don't play that they should. So check that one out. They've added a lot of maps from the first game, which a lot of people didn't play because it was an exclusive to Xbox. So yeah, Titanfall 2. That and the Mass Effect multiplayer. I've jumped back into that. If you liked the one from 3, it's literally not identical. They obviously switched some classes around, which apparently you do in a sequel, as we'll soon find. But yeah. No, I've just been playing a lot of other multiplayer lately.
Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with that. You played Little Mario Kart with me last night. I was so excited. Even though you told me no, you said your mouth said no, but your body said yes.
My thumb said yes.
Yeah. So
again, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
Right. I do want to give a quick shout out to everybody that's hanging out with us live. Thank you guys. Havoc, Reaper, Miss Prime, Captain Logan. I want to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Anybody that's just lurking with us, thank you so much. Guys, we decided to change the channel. We've changed the channel. We're doing the show on my Twitch channel now, twitch.tv/N64Josh, because it just makes more sense. I'm streaming over there all the time, and it's just, it doesn't make sense to do it on the other channel. We have that channel for if and when things start to grow with the Loot Cave, but for now we're going to start doing this show on twitch.tv/N64Josh, and then if and when Destinat decides to stream, or we may do it over there sometimes too, just to spread the love. He's giving me a look right now if you're just listening. So Wib is still here. Thank you so much, dude. But yeah, we do this live, twitch.tv/N64Josh, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Tuesday. So let's jump into this thing.
Yeah.
I want you to be thinking, do you have any questions for me about Guardian Con? Like, just think about them real quick. I want to make sure I give a shout out to my boy K-Magic101. You guys heard me talk about him a lot in episode 104. He was basically the reason we got invited to Guardian Con. We love that guy. We love the episode he came on with us, and he was Bungie's community focus this last week. So make sure to go check that out. Make sure to go check out his Twitch channel. This guy works, and he does a lot for this community. He does a lot to make Guardian Con happen. And I'll tell you, when Guardian Con ended, it ended with everybody literally giving him a standing ovation. And I'm not typically a very emotional person, but like he was getting a little, like he got a little dusty in there, and just seeing that community just really appreciate him that way. It was awesome. It was very cool. So make sure you go check out his channel. He's on a couple of podcasts. He's on The Jam with King Gathalion and Professor Broman. And he's also on the Worst Radio Show. So go check those out, and if you do, tell him the Lootcast sent you, and that Josh has an unhealthy infatuation with him. He'll love that. He'll really love that. So, anyway, Destinot and guys in chat, you guys have any questions for me about GuardianCon?
Was it I was wondering, because obviously I wasn't there. I was not watching it. I was living vicariously through multiple individuals on Twitter. So it didn't look as drama filled as E3. Only because I don't think someone went missing for 24 hours from GuardianCon. Whatever that nonsense was about. If you know what I'm talking about, it was insanely just... I'm like, really? This is... okay. There was other drama I noticed. It was kept to a minimum, it seemed like. But what did you get a sense of? Because obviously E3... I know this year was different, but you had gone to last year's where it's a lot of press... so you got people that are in there, they're trying to get their game footage, they're trying to get their hands on a game. And I know it was similar to when we went to the Destiny 2 reveal. You had half the people there that were kind of invited as press, and they were kind of there to kind of to work in a sense. But this not necessarily having a game to showcase, did you feel that it was more just like friends meeting up, or was it still kind of, I'm here to work? What kind of sense did you get from the crowd?
Honestly, it was like, from my experience, like sitting down and doing the Lootcast, right? It was like literally sitting down with like family and friends is literally what it felt like. And just being able to do the show live in front of them was magical, right? Because some of those people are in this stream, or they're in the stream on a regular basis, and so seeing them and making eye contact with them, that was nuts. Walking around just the show floor, you could just see people were so excited to meet like Dado and Grenader Jake and King Gathalion and Professor Broman and all those things. And really, it was almost like the streamers and the YouTubers and that kind of stuff were more of the I don't know if attraction is the best word, but instead of having that next hot game to play, it was like literally getting to meet some of the some of the quote unquote leaders of the community, right? As far as in their different areas, if it's Twitch, YouTube, that kind of stuff. And then getting to sit down and like watch PvP as just that was like electric, seeing the guys on stage. It was a legit presentation, man. Like there was seeing Lady Desiree play, or Lady Desire, for if you will. You know what's up. Watching her play piano. And I mean, they had this nice camera on this nice boom that was just doing just amazing work, making it look extremely professional. And it
was there lens flare? Did it feel like you were watching Star Trek?
It was more of Transformers, a lot of Michael Bay. Yeah.
Megan Fox.
Not any of that.
All right.
But yeah, even Reaper in the chat there, he's saying the PV tournament was amazing. It really was. I mean, literally, like, you may be going and I remember it was like over at the Destiny Community Podcast, which is another podcast I recommend you guys listen to. Going over there and watching their show live, and then all of a sudden the biggest area of the event center was like going nuts because like Lumi was going off, or somebody was getting some crazy kills or something like that. And everybody in that part of where the Destiny Community Podcast was doing their thing, they all just went crazy too. They didn't even know why, but like it was just electric. Like everybody was just having a good time for the most part. I didn't see anybody, like, I didn't really hear of any drama. I mean, I was behind, I was backstage a little bit, and some knucklehead tried to go where he wasn't supposed to try to meet somebody he didn't want to stand in line for or whatever, and he was quickly removed. Whatever, but there was nothing Nothing
Please
major.
tell me he was hogtied and then dragged through the center of the stadium to be taken out when there was an exit door 5 feet away. But instead they had to make the example.
Yeah, legendary Ladman led that.
He looks like he could hurt somebody. Just saying. I usually only see this much of him at a time while he's streaming. But yeah, he looks like he could do some damage. I don't know if I would want to tick him off in any particular fashion.
He wouldn't let my beard touch his sideburns. I was kind of bothered by that, but
rightfully so.
I guess. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, it wasn't as much it didn't feel like as much like rushing to the next thing or standing. Now, I didn't stand in line to meet anybody, right? But there were, I mean, Dado literally had a line going around the place for people to meet him. Sarah Daniels had a line around her for a while. Jogging Zombies. I don't know if you know who that is, but
That sounds familiar, probably from Twitch.
I kept messing with that poor guy so much because we were walking into our hotel and somebody's like, "You're Jogging Zombies," and I turned around. I was like, "The Jogging Zombie." I'd never even met this person.
I thought they were asking you. I thought you were gonna be like, "Do I look like I jog?"
No. He was actually standing, and so the rest of every time I'd see him, I'd be like, "Is this where the line starts? Am I the front of the line for Jogging Zombies?" So, also a super cool guy. He was at the Destiny 2 reveal too. I think that may be where we met him actually.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, other than people standing in line to meet streamers and YouTubers and that kind of thing, it was really just a big family reunion is what it felt like. I mean, and really cool, running, I would post a picture, right, and then somebody's like, "Hey, wait a minute, you're here," and then they would hunt me down and be like, "Hey, what's going," Biowolf from well, he was on Podtacular, but now he's getting ready to start streaming, I guess, but so it was just really cool, and hanging out with the Loot Clan guys. I mean, there was
I don't want to say cornucopia, but there's quite a few gentlemen there, and the ladies. Wait, is she official? I don't want to give her credit if she doesn't have the the tag.
Not yet. She needs help.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
So yeah, goal for next year, Guardian Con, is that Loot Clan is the most represented clan at the con. That's
on the Xbox side. Let's be honest.
That's good. No, just period. So Loot Clanners, do what you can to get to Guardian Con. We need to make it a thing. Getting to hang out with those guys though, we went to this. It was a really cool pub basically, and it had 2 outdoor areas and then an indoor area, and there was a live band, and we had a table, and we were just kind of chilling outside. We got to go smoke cigars. The Loot Clan guys never let my beer get empty. At one point I'm like, "Guys, there's 3 beers here. I can't do this." So they were way too kind.
Weak.
It was weak. I was like, I gotta walk out of here.
You're supposed to pound the 2 and then sip the 3rd. Come on, you gotta be classy about it.
That was like 5, 6, and 7 sitting in front of me. I was like, not tonight. So, yeah, and Reaper saying the environment there was just chill. It was chill. Once you got in, probably the worst part was the line getting into the place the first day, because they only had a couple people checking bags, so we stood in line for an hour.
Oh, and, so it was Disneyland. Great, awesome.
Yeah, we melted. But the next day, none of that was Kevin was like, no, that's not happening for day 2. Here's how it's going to work, and he got it. He was rocking and rolling it. So,
nice.
Yeah, but overall, it was like Reaper said, just a very chill, getting to meet some people that wanted to meet me, and then getting to meet people that I was really excited to meet. So it was just kind of a it was good, man. It was just good. Very, very good. And he's muted. That's all right, though. He'll hit the button in a second.
Sounds like a fun time overall was had by all. I would have caught myself eventually. Jeez, now everyone knows. Start it over. No, yeah, it looked awesome. I was maybe I didn't notice anyone else's, but you did a lot of live streaming, like from the bars there, driving to the con. To your credit, or not to your credit, I don't think you were the only one that was doing it. I just think you're the only one that knows how to use that app, because we've talked to and seen multiple people. I've seen it on Twitch. They're like, how does this thing work? You were at the bar and they're like, are you live streaming? And you're like, yeah, it's through the Twitch app. What is this Twitch app you speak of? Like, it's like, oh, I thought you people worked in the tech industry, Come on.
Well, and the thing is, I was sitting at that bar and I went, hey, Twitch said they were going to be pushing an update out to their actual app. So I'm going to check real quick. So then I was like literally yelling at everybody like, hey, the Twitch app updated. You guys can live stream from it now. And so then I figured it out real quick. And then everybody's like, how do you do it? Show me how you do it. You're on the actual app. That's what it turned into. So it was cool.
You should have charged $1 per.
Right.
Walked out of there a rich man.
Exactly. But speaking of that, like that first meetup, like we pull in and I see Booker and I see Rezo DJ, I believe. And I don't remember the other two that were with him. And
every photo at the con. I don't know if you remember. I don't want to go too far off topic. But do you remember that episode of Animaniacs where the girl bunny and the boy bunny were fighting over who had the most pictures in the yearbook? And it turns out Kid in the Red Cap won because he was in the back of every single photo. Yeah, that was Rezo DJ. He was literally in the background of every photo. I think there's even a fairly strong meme out there with him like lurking behind Triple Rec.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But we pull in, me and Dubhead do, and I yell, nerds, right? Nobody knows my face really, right? Because they just listen. If they know me, it's from the show probably. And so they were like, they all stopped and they kind of just, and then I tweeted at Booker and I was like, who was that guy that just called you nerds? And he's like, oh my gosh, are you here? I was like, yeah, dude, it was me. So then I told DJ that later and he was like, you know what? Like, you said that? And then I just went,
wait, who asked this?
Yeah, we are nerds. DJ was like, I was like, hey, you know who called you? He's like, no, I was like, it was me, man. He's like, we stopped and we're like, yeah, we're nerds. We're nerds. So, anyway, Logan's like, this is going to be a 2-hour show. Okay. We'll get to the other stuff. We'll get to the other stuff.
With that attitude, it's going to be.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anybody from chat? Anybody at all? If you guys have any other questions about Guardian Con, now's the time to ask because we're going to move on to the
I can ask the cliche questions, I guess. Say, what was it like to meet people? Were they really that nice in person? Yes, people are that nice in person. Or they're not. Maybe they're just that good at lying to us. I'm okay with it either way. It's like, if you're not gonna be nice to me, at least lie. So, but yeah, those meetups they're interesting because I've only been to the one. You've been to a few cons / meetups. It's funny because you see these people online, and I think I don't want to use the word hype because I'm so sick of that word this year. Hype and synergy and boots on the ground. If I hear that one more time, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something though, something drastic.
Go ahead and mute yourself.
People will know that I do something. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny because I think these people go there and sure they see on a monitor that they've got I got 1,000 viewers, but it's I think it's probably overwhelming for a lot of these individuals to go and kind of just be like, oh my gosh, there's a line for me. Like, why is there a line for me? Yeah, so I'm sure that's pretty crazy. So yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. I get the impression you step back a little bit and you're just like, yeah, we're all just, like you said, we're all just nerds. Kind of just drinking beers, talking about video games. Yeah,
that really was it. And like, there was one of the tables I sat down with and, I was like, hey, what are you guys' names? What do you do? And they're like, oh, we don't do anything. We're just normal dudes. Nothing. And I'm like,
I'm just here for the chicken wings.
Yeah. Like we don't. And it's like, no, you know what? Like we're all just normal dudes, right? That's it. Like, and so it was really, it was cool just getting and sitting to talk with people that were just part of the community that didn't even, they don't create anything, whatever, like just getting to know, and hearing people like some people saw like my I think I had the 64 shirt on or something, and they're like, oh, I got all these old Nintendo, so we would talk about old Nintendo games and things like that. It wasn't just Destiny focused. It was just like gamer focused, which was just really cool. That's probably the hardest thing about leaving is just like, man, I was just hanging out with so many people that like had this common ground, and why are we all so spread out over the over the United States?
It's a good thing, I think, because you get to go. It's almost like a surreal experience because you get to go. Like you said, you meet all these people that you're like, oh, this is awesome. We all play games and we can talk about it like almost freely. I don't know. I think we both shared kind of like our childhoods. Like mine, I had a lot of friends that just were not into games, or they were, but they were into games like for 15 minutes at a time, whereas I'm the guy that'd be like, dude, let's just play games all night. Like, this is sweet. You're around a lot of those same type of people that kind of share that same childhood. So, it's really cool. But if the con was longer than 3 days, if it was just like, like you said, why don't we all just live together in a log cabin out in the woods and play video games all day? We would all.
Well, now you made it creepy.
Yeah, now it's just weird. Well, it's weird if you're at the cabin. But yeah, it's really one of those.
Is there Wi-Fi? That's the only thing I need to know.
Yeah, and a Starbucks. As long as there's a Starbucks.
Oh, we're good then.
We're golden. We would all come to hate each other, I'm sure, very quickly. So maybe it's a good thing it's 3 days.
Who just teabagged me? That kind of thing. But Reaper Miss Prime is saying, you need to try the extreme wings at the Wing House. They are so good. Mm-hmm. This dude sat and ate the hottest wings in front of me, tears rolling down his face. I was like, bro, that's going to burn 3 times. Like, this is bad news all around. So, yeah. He was certain the next morning.
I don't do that. We what's the play? Was it Buffalo Wild Wings has blazing?
Yeah.
I don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm just not that much of a man. I'm like,
gotcha.
98% sure that I'm like straight man.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool. So let's move on to the IGN first. Okay, have you watched any of these things?
Nope.
It's okay if you haven't.
You see, if I watched them, I would know exactly what you're talking about. But if I don't watch it, it's real.
Okay,
that's my logic, anyways.
I guess if anybody's trying to like completely avoid any info about Destiny 2, like they want to go in completely fresh, we are going to be talking about what IGN has shown us over the last few days. So you've been warned. There's your spoiler warning if you don't want any Destiny 2 stuff. But here we go. So they've done it. They've done a bunch of different videos. I highly recommend go to IGN, check them out if you want. They're dropping a new video every day, and I'm not sure how long they're doing this. I don't know if it's up until the beta, if it's just kind of like and that's when they stop. I have no idea. But one of the things. And I'm just gonna kind of go. I just took notes as I was watching the videos. I didn't make note which video it was, which order it came out or anything like that. So, the first thing that they said is more story. There's going to be more story, and they said Destiny 1 was a foundation, and it was kind of like them building the world. But Destiny 2 is going to have more cinematic stories. How does that make you feel? What when you hear that? Where does your mind go?
Well, there's 2 parts to that. You said Destiny 1 was them like kind of like dipping their foot into the pool and trying to see what they could do and where it would go. And the first thing I think of, and I'm only going to say this because it's the common statement that most people probably identify with, is like, geez, thanks for the 3-year-old beta, appreciate that, sweet. I'm sure they didn't want it to come off that way, but instantly I'm thinking like, so basically it was we basically just did $150 early access is what I'm hearing, and it's not even really early access because we don't even get access to the final product with our
Right.
$150 purchase. That's just kind of excuse me. That's kind of the triggered response I would expect to hear from somebody like that. You know, here's that part of that statement. But to be honest, what video game doesn't come out right now with a part 1 that isn't a full-on trial? You know, like look at what was that gloriously awesome game that was hyped to oblivion? No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
What if that would have come out and people would have just been like, "This is amazing! You could go to a bajillion different planets." You would say that, "Oh, well, that's a successful launch. You know, we tried something new. People liked it. We're gonna make a part 2 now and elaborate on it." That's what you do on part 2s. If you take a step backwards in a part 2 in the video game industry, I think you're doing something wrong. That's just my opinion, because I've always felt that video games were not only about like cool visuals and cool sound effects, but also like progressing technology in a sense. So I always like to see when they try something new, like in a sequel. So yeah, like, but again, I think Destiny is a more successful version of No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was like a flight sim / planet exploration game. All these things had been done before, but they tried to combine it together and make a game out of it. And I think it was just way too ambitious of a project for them. And they probably should have scaled something back on one aspect or another. I think they bit off more than they can chew. I honestly think that Destiny 1 was the same way. Especially hearing some of the behind the scenes stuff where they were like, we wanted this and we had this many cutscenes and this was the story. I think at one point each species was supposed to have their own storyline, and all we got was the Exo storyline. Like there was supposed to also be a human storyline and also a what are they called?
Awoken?
Closet dwellers, whatever. They were supposed to have their own storyline, and it just didn't happen. They like I said, I think they bit off a little bit more than they could chew, and they were like, "Whoa, you know, let's try to make this thing work." So to hear that they're gonna have more story, I hope that they have from the first game. They have the mechanics down. They have, as much as people love it or hate it, hopefully the network code and all that stuff is down. Like the framework is there, I think. I think Destiny 1 laid a very good like foundation to work from. So, and that could be why a lot of people are like, it looks the same. It's like, well, maybe because what you're seeing is not an evolution, or not a revolution, but like an evolution of what we've seen already. So to have that framework in place and now be like, hey, let's throw some story into that mix. I'm all for it. I think Destiny desperately needs it, and it desperately needs it not in some kind of archaic card form. That to me was so like this is a video game, and you're doing stuff that they do like in board games and like tabletop games. And I could care less what any YouTuber has to say about this, not focusing on just YouTubers, but they're like, oh, why don't we get Grimoire? Please remove Grimoire completely from the game. We could still have a Grimoire score, whereas when you get to those points, you know, let's say in the game, and you trigger that cutscene or you trigger that like dynamic event in the wild, boom, there's your score. Almost like an achievement from Xbox, you know, or PlayStation, where it just pops while you're mid-game. Let that be your Grimoire score. Like, hey, this guy went to that planet that had this event, and he was there when it happened. Boom, there's your Grimoire. But to give it to me in some card that someone's just going to go online and then, like, voiceover, I don't need that.
Yeah, and they bring this up. I pulled up two different videos that kind of go into story and Bungie's vision for a sequel, and Luke Smith brought that up, and he's like, look, they had two paths before them with Destiny 2. They could continue releasing the Taken King style of DLC and just keep going that way, or they could choose the the harder of the two, which was starting over to bring more people into the game. Right? So, and that's what they're hoping is going to happen. They're hoping that as they basically put everybody on the same playing field in this world, it'll bring more people in and not be like intimidating. I mean, if you think about it, if they kept doing these DLCs for Destiny 1, even if they updated the graphics and made stuff look better and whatever else, like anybody jumping in for the first time, that's overwhelming. It's like this is too much. Whereas now, like a lot of people played a little bit of Destiny 1, and a lot of people played a lot of Destiny 1, right? I'm not saying that, but some people played it for a while and they bounced, and they're like, hey, if they've got their stuff together, they're going to be back for the sequel. But if it had just been more DLC, I don't think we would see as many new people. And so I think it's a good move, and I hope that they can come through big like they're talking about, where it's like they want to have more of a focus on the traveler. They are promising story from all directions. At one point, he's like, I'm hoping we actually get feedback from people saying this is too much story. Like, we don't want so much story. And so, and I hope that's the case. I hope that it's like, that's really what it's going to be like. And you know, the one other thing I want to add to this is that they see where they fell short in the first one, and they want everything you're doing to feel like it's a part of the story, right? I mean, if you think about the way Destiny 1 started, we did all this stuff, and then we fought that like big black pile of goo that turned into those, you know, made those statues come alive, and then the stranger was like, blah blah blah, I'll see you again, here's a gun.
Lies.
And then it was like, go and do this raid and fight Atheon. I was like, well, what is this, right? Short of reading about it in the grimoire and trying to tie it all together,
yeah,
what was that? And so what they're saying now is that they want everything to point towards the story, right? That doesn't mean it's not going to have branching paths and different things that you can go and do and kind of choose your own adventure, but they want it to all feel like it's part of the same story, which I think is good. I think it's a challenge, but I think it's good.
Well, let's look at any other RPG that's probably come out in the last 10 years, maybe even longer. They all kind of have that. Like look at the, I know games that you and I are both familiar with, the Mass Effect games. There was a linear storyline. Like if you did the first mission, it then led to the second mission, it then led to the third mission, fourth, fifth, sixth, etc. But there was also tons of branching paths that didn't really have anything to do with you fighting this great evil. They were just things that were happening within the universe. Later they came back around. Like I remember, do I even say spoilers here? If you haven't played the first 3 Mass Effects, you're probably not going to start. So, you know, I'll say that in the first game, there was a side mission that I didn't even play until like my 3rd or 4th playthrough that mentioned Cerberus. And if you played through the trilogy, you know what kind of, what kind of level Cerberus kind of rose to, and how they affected the full-on story of Mass Effect, you know? That was just a side quest in the first game, you know? Which is probably how they got the idea to implement them in the second game. So the Grimoire cards are there, which is great. I don't know if they're going to bust a Star Wars and be like, nope, those cards are legacy. Sorry. I don't know what they're going to do with the old story, because parts of the old story, in my opinion, are just disjointed. And I know you can go online and, you know, probably have someone read you a bedtime story where they're all together and, you know, give you the cards in alphabetical order. But it's like, that's what we need. It's like, not only do I need to go online and find separate cards, but then I got to go find a YouTuber to explain these cards to me. That all needs to be in the game. The branching storylines need to be there. Basically, they need to make a 2017 game. That's what they need to do. And that's what we
And
expect from AAA titles now. Like, I don't expect to drop down $60 and knowing that there's DLC already in the works. So I already know I'm going to have to spend probably close to $100 on this game. And if you're going to give me all this old stuff and old school ways of doing things like in a game, it's like, I don't know. At this point in the life cycle of these consoles, I'm going to probably play the thing for 2 weeks if that's the case. Because, like, I'm sorry, it needs more. It just needs to be, like I said, it needs to be a 2017 AAA game.
Yeah, and it needs to be the game that they've been trying to make all along, I think. Mm-hmm. And it from what I've watched from these videos, it seems like they're doing just that. A few of the things Luke Smith said is they're making a tougher game. They want this game to be harder. They want you to feel like you're at the disadvantage instead of like in the last game where it was like, hey, we're all Superman and there's not much kryptonite, you know? And so they want to make a tougher game. One of the ways they're doing that is with loadout locks, right? So you start a mission and you can't change your weapons.
I can see that. I mean, that's kind of cool because it's the whole, you know, use what you brought mentality, you know?
Well, it's not only that, but like, I mean, if you think about it, think about some of the strikes that we would do. Think about like the Nexus strike. There's literally an ice cream truck going by my window right now. I do apologize for the music.
I don't.
Yeah, we always tell our kids when there's music playing, they're empty. They're out of ice cream. So it works well. Pro parenting tip right there. But yeah, Nexus Strike, right? Mm-hmm. You're going through, and back in year one, it was like, hey, we're at the tank. Everybody pull out Icebreaker. Or was it called Black Hammer back in the day? I think that was the one from Crota. Mm-hmm. That's the sniper that if you hit crits, it would just constantly reload. Yeah. Right? So you'd switch to that, and then it was like, okay, now we're on the Nexus, so maybe switch to the Galahorn or something, whatever the burn was, switch to that weapon. It's like, if you're jumping into a Nightfall, you better pick the weapons that you're going to want to use for the whole thing, because this is the way it is. And I think that's okay. I don't, I hope it's not a cheap way of making stuff more difficult. I hope it's actually something that's like, yeah, I'm glad they did this. And maybe it's something like, look, the reality of it is, and I'm doing kind of some finger quotes, but it's like, if you jump down, where are you going to carry all those weapons that you're changing, that you're switching out, right? It's like, these are the weapons you can carry on your person. So it kind of adds a little more realism, not you understand.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I used to play Destiny like that anyways. I never switched to weapons unless it was for a burn, like for a Nightfall or something like that. And it's like, oh, it's Void this week? Okay, I'll bring Void weapons. But usually I was so comfortable with like the 3 weapons that I had on me at all times. Like, that's all I would use. I wouldn't even go to anything else. So, yeah.
Well, here's the other thing, though. Remember year one, Icebreaker could refill the ammo of any other special in your inventory. So,
I never
like,
even messed with that though. That was like, I guess it was a glitch. Didn't they repair it later on?
Yeah, they ended up fixing it. But
I'm not a huge fan of Icebreaker because it zooms in so far that I always like the short little scopes.
Sure.
Because I figured if I'm in combat and running around, and this game isn't really sniper friendly, the size of the maps, and it looks like the maps are even smaller now, so who's gonna want to use a sniper rifle? I hope that's Moonshine. So yeah, I don't know, and maybe they won't, maybe that's their way of, because sniper rifles have, for me anyways, seem to always be the problem weapon, like in every PvP game we've ever played. It's like everyone wants to be Jude Law and Enemy at the Gates or something. I don't know what the whole like fascination with being a sniper is. I really don't. I mean, I understand the fascination with wanting to be Jude Law. That I get. But yeah, everyone's just always a sniper. So what if they give all these sniper rifles really long zooms and it's like, oh, here's your giant sniper rifle on this tiny map. Go right ahead. Good luck with that.
Right, have fun.
But we'll see. Yeah, the whole loadout thing, I think that's cool. I think that's like, hey, yeah, you want to bring that? Fine, you're stuck with it the whole map. I hope you're really good with it. Yeah.
And I'm
like
kind
that.
of like you as well. I'm kind of in the same, like, especially the past few. I've been grinding. I've been grinding my Age of Triumph book. I'm like I think I'm at 86% now, so I'm getting close. But like, I literally would fire up any of my 3 characters, whatever guns they had on them. It's pretty much what I used the whole time. Like it's just
Yeah.
I may have. Towards the end with my Warlock, I was seeing a lot of people. I'd go into different streams and see a lot of people using Palindrome, and I happened to have one on me, so I'm like, I'm gonna try this gun out. So
I think towards the end there, it didn't, like you said, everyone was so godlike, it didn't matter. We were all level 40, with light level 400 weapons. It didn't matter. Like you could use whatever you wanted. It didn't. It was at the end. It's kind of like the end of its run, So I'm glad to see and hear that in Destiny 2, it's almost like a step backwards as far as how strong you are. And I think that's needed for the game to have an even longer, for us to want to play it longer. You can't just be able to like become super powerful within a week. That sounds cool in theory because then everyone's like, "Yay, I'm powerful. This is awesome. I can one-shot everything." But for long term, that really doesn't help, because then you get the people that are like, "Dude, I already maxed this out. I'm gonna stop playing this because this is stupid."
Yeah, like saving engrams for a new DLC and then popping them all and being the highest light level
made
and all
those
that.
Completely worthless. Like the next day, like you pop it open and you got raisins. I would have been like, "GG, Bungie," or whatever the cool kids are saying.
Oh, that would have been there would have been all kinds of tears online. But one of the things I know they're doing is the whole, like, instead of having all these quests that you have to look up in your menu and see where you have to go, and it's kind of convoluted, and like, oh, I've got to hit this and that, and now you just go to your map and everything you have to do is lit up, and you just select that and you go to it. That's it. I do want to say, hey, Henny, welcome, buddy. Thank you for the bits, man. Appreciate you, bud.
Like every other open world game in 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of quality of life stuff. I know we were talking about the long sniper in PvP and whatnot. Control. They're bringing back Control. Guess what? No longer in Control, when the match starts, is there 3 flags that have to be captured. A and C are already captured by the team that's closest to them. So it's a mad rush to B. So everybody's going to be fighting for B. It's going to be, that's where the battle is going to happen. Except you may have somebody that's trying to sneak around and go, it's going to make for some interesting rounds. You no longer have to stand on the spot and neutralize it and then capture it. As soon as you step on it, you're starting to capture it. Right? They've simplified a lot of things. If you're holding 2 spots, you get like a ×2 multiplier, and 1 kill equals 1 point. Like there's no more like these real high numbers, anything like that. It's just like everything is just simplified, and they just want to push combat. They want to get people just fighting. And I mean, Control's looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I'm excited to see that they've not just thrown the same game as, but they've looked at it and said, look, the games start and people are trying to decide where to go. Everybody's heading in a different direction. It's taking too long. The capture points, I believe, don't take as long either. It's going to capture faster so that you can keep the action going. And, and so it's just overall, just those few little tweaks, it's going to be better. It's going to be a better experience. It's going to be more action.
I'm interested to see how that goes because personally, I always found Control to be my favorite game type, only because it kind of took away from the monotony of, like we got just about every game has the, it's just like deathmatch. But I felt like with Control, you could at least like do maybe a little bit of strategy, like, okay, let's cut off this lane and then everyone else go left, to try to take B. As opposed to, I found myself naturally going to those control points anyways during just like, was it Rumble? Is that the name of it for the just deathmatch?
Yeah, or a Clash.
Clash, yeah. Clash, I found myself going to like the control points anyways because I was so used to playing control, and it seemed like those maps were set up that way on purpose. Like they put those flags probably in the areas that when they do those, what are those called? Those hot maps or whatever, the heat maps.
Oh yeah, where you can see where the
the
action's taking place.
I'm willing to bet before they even planted flags in those maps, they would just run around and kill each other. And then they look at those heat maps and go like, oh, the battles happen here, here, and here. Okay, let's put the flags there. So it seems like those battles take place certain points anyways. Just because you take away the flags doesn't mean the map suddenly changes into where the prime engagements take place. So, yeah, I'm glad to see Control's getting a once over, and hopefully it plays out better. I think it'll be better, especially if it's 4v4. Because could you imagine if you had to sit on the flag that long, and before you could go help your team? Now it's like 2 people are on a flag trying to cap the thing, and then now there's only 2 people out in the wilderness, fighting. So it's kind of like that. I think had to be done. I think when you reduce the player count for the map, things have to be sped up. It's not like Battlefield, where you get 14 people, 12 people on your team, and like 3 people capping a flag. It's like, who cares? There's still battles going on.
Right. Yeah, and I mean the thing about it is too, like, it's going to be more of a chess match, right? It's going to be like, hey, do we send 2 here and 2 here? Do we move as a team of 4? Do we set up? And like you said, like it's going to kind of eliminate, like, there were certain game modes. I love sniping, right? So it was like, hey, when the match starts, I'm going to my spot where I set up in hard scope, right? And that's sometimes what I would do maybe at the beginning of the map. Like, hey, I know if I go right here, there's going to be guys jumping in right here at B, and I'm going to take them out. Whereas, like, now if you're going to be going to B, you're more than likely going to be heading into gunfire.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's not necessarily going to be that, hey, I'm going to go here and snipe. There may be some corners or whatever that you can kind of hang back a little bit and kind of just offer support while your teammates move forward. But it just seems like they really want to push the engagements, and I think that's good. And this mentality, I think, is going to bleed over into other game types as well. And I think we're going to see. They've already said they want to focus on competitive, and I think it's going to be very competitive. And I hope everybody just takes the time to get better at PvP. Like, don't get frustrated when it gets sweaty. Just do your best and go listen to Crucible Radio. Those guys they're gonna help you improve. One of their biggest tips is watch your own gameplay and critique it, see where you can do to get better, and do that if you're worried about this competitive play style. And the other thing, assuming we're going to get skill-based matchmaking, don't play with a bunch of friends that are way better than you. Like, find people that are on your skill level so that it's not like getting destroyed all the time.
Yeah. My advice for people that don't like PvP, play it for a week and then decide if you don't like it, because it's honestly going to take you that long to get any type of rhythm down, to get to know the map rotations, to get to know where people go. Like, and maybe that's why Control was always so populated with people, is because you go to the flag. You don't really have to think about, oh, where's the best sniping spot, if you don't want to. You can just be like, I'm going to go to the flag and cap it, and that's how I'm going to help my team.
Right.
But yeah, play it for a week. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I've been playing a lot of other games right now. The Mass Effect multiplayer, Titanfall 2. That multiplayer, both of them are very different from each other, but you gotta play it. You gotta actually do it before you're gonna be good, or even average at it. Yeah, you just have to do it. You got to get on that bike. You got to learn to ride the bike without the training wheels.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, guys, lastly, they have started showing off supers. So you can see the Titan Sentinel. You can see him running around like Captain America. And I mean, the Sentinel is a lot like, it's a lot like the hammer. The shield and the hammer are very, very similar.
So like Captain America?
You can throw it. You can use it as a melee attack, right? And so I hope there's a little more to it. I hope that there's going to be some things to kind of like tweak it and finesse it a little bit. And we've seen the Stormcaller's back. I'm sorry, that the Voidwalker's back, mm-hmm. and I haven't seen the video, but I guess they throw massive Nova bombs now that move slowly.
Does it look like that gif of the giant head comet coming down?
The Kappa head. Dude, I haven't been able to see that. I was just listening to I don't even remember who I was listening to, but they were talking about just like this giant Nova bomb just flying through the air, and so it's cool getting to see some of the stuff, and we're going to get to experience it in a week. So I don't know, are you going to try to play the beta on Tuesday on the PS4?
No. I haven't even. I have the code. It's on the receipt in front of me. I might give it away. I don't know. It's going to be the exact same stuff that we played at the reveal, so
you don't want to get into it and enjoy it again? Just get a taste of the good life. Sit in your comfort of
my cozy leather recliner.
Yeah.
Honestly, the PvP. Well, here's the thing, and here's why I'm not like, dude, I need the beta right now. Had we not gone to the reveal, think about it, we wouldn't have it played at all. And I'm assuming the majority of the population, that's the case. They have not played this at all. Some people played it at E3, some people at the reveal. I don't know if they've shown it anywhere else. So there's a good group of people that have played the game already, and I'm sure those people are super excited to jump back in it. But again, as I mentioned earlier, there's so many. My backlog's stupid. It's just ridiculous. So
right.
Not playing it for another. When's it come out? September.
September 8th or 6th.
October,
I think it's
if
8th.
you're a real man. So we're not gonna see it for
Shots
a while,
fired,
but I'm okay with that. Not being the type of content creator that wants to record things and get everything like together, where it's like I don't need that to record more footage and stuff like that. So I'm just excited to play it, but I know it's just PvP. The PvP is probably going to be the biggest part, the most exciting part of the beta, because once you've played through that first mission, or I'm assuming it's the first mission, that one story mission, it's the same mission over and over again, and there's nothing new to it. So once you play through that and get a taste of that, I'm assuming the strike, depending on if you like strikes or if you like PvP, is going to be next on your list. Those I could see being more, played through multiple times, but especially the PvP. The PvP I think is going to be the best part of this beta. Just because of the natural variety that comes along with PvP.
Yeah, and ultimately, I hope that it's nothing more than what we had at the reveal. I hope we can't go and explore too much stuff. If you think about the Destiny 1 beta, they had a lot of content in that, and it was like, oh, good, I've got to like level
half the game. Like I never played it, but I heard it was like all of Earth.
It was the Cosmodrome. It was a lot. It was a lot of content, and then it was ridiculous. Like there was the beta, and then I want to say there was even wasn't there a second beta or something? I can't remember exactly, but it was like
and the beta, which from what I understand were more or less the same.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just was like, I think when I finally jumped into Destiny, I was like, I feel like I've done this already. So like, yeah. I'm fine with the beta being more about like just focusing on PvP and making sure those servers aren't melting. Like that's good in my opinion. So,
and from what I understand, I know they're getting a little bit of a jump because it's coming out in July and then the game doesn't drop till September. So they've got like 1 to 2 months, I guess, depending on how you look at it. If there's something that needs to be tweaked, but I think it was Cliffy B put out on Twitter, like, these people that have betas 1 week before the game launch, that's not even a real beta. That's literally just like a preview.
A demo.
Like, what can you do in a week if there's something that's just broken? Like, absolutely nothing. So the game's going to ship that way, and then they're going to be like, we're looking into ways to adjust things in the future. Again, if I have to hear we're looking at ... one more time this year from a game company, I'm gonna break something else along with those other things I'm gonna break from earlier.
All right. Well, before we get too salty, my friend, where can we find you on the interwebs?
People can find me on Twitter at DestinautTLC. Also, we do this show every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific, on twitch.tv/N64Josh. That's as of this week. So if you're going like, what? That's why you missed the show. Because you weren't following Josh. Way to go. So follow N64Josh on Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry. Twitch.
We gotta
follow him on Twitter too. Expand your horizons, people. Jeez, do something new you think for yourselfers.
We gotta do something with this guy. Oh my gosh, we're gonna bring happiness to his life. Guys, you can find me on Twitter at N64Josh. Hey, there you go. Twitch.tv/N64Josh. Guys, I've been streaming a variety of games, Destiny included, Mario Kart included, Mario Sunshine included. Like, we've been having a lot of fun. The streams have been they've been a blast. So come check those out. Turn on notifications. Monday nights are guaranteed stream. 7 p.m. Pacific is the latest I'll start. It's usually earlier than that. Now we got Tuesday nights, 7 and 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Lootcast and the Nintendo Powercast. And guys, if you have a second, you can leave us a review. We'd really, really appreciate that. iTunes, I know, is the one place you can leave some reviews. If you got feedback for us, hit us up on Twitter. My DMs are open. Also, as far as like the lootcave.com goes, we are looking for contributors. We want to build a platform of content creators where we all grow together and just put out great content. So, Destin not smirking. Go ahead.
Something popped in my head. It's like, with the loot cat, okay, we built a base. We have a base. We need multiple shafts now to put on that base.
There you go.
We're into architecture.
Yeah. All right, guys. If you're live with us on Twitch, thank you so much for being here. We really, really appreciate you guys. Hang out in the stream. We'll go raid somebody, show somebody some love. But Broncos, Henny, anyone else that's still here, if you're just lurking, thank you guys so much. And guys, we'll see you next week with the Destiny 2 beta in hand. I might even set up a PS4 in my room just to play the beta. Fancy. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.